Kenyan politics has always resembled a complicated love story, but in today's climate, it feels more like a relationship on the brink of a messy breakup. Nowhere is this more evident than in the uneasy marriage of convenience between Orange Democratic Movement and United Democratic Alliance within the so-called broad-based government arrangement.
That this is a plot, and we said it a long time ago, to create confusion, to create sideshows, to confuse our members, but luckily our members are very clear on where we are going.
At first glance, the union between figures associated with Raila Odinga and William Ruto appeared strategic, almost like two former rivals choosing partnership over prolonged conflict. Much like in romance, it was framed as maturity, compromise, and national interest. But beneath the surface, tensions have been simmering. Reports and political signals suggest ODM is increasingly uncomfortable in this arrangement, with murmurs of a possible exit growing louder. If true, this mirrors a familiar relationship patterns. What begins as a pragmatic union slowly unravels under the weight of mistrust. ODM, long positioned as an opposition force, risks losing its identity, like a partner who sacrifices too much and begins to question the relationship itself.
Our relationship with our broad-based partners, UDA, the Central Committee noted with concern. UDA party. The Central Committee noted with concern the goings on and the unwarranted public utterances by some senior officials of the UDA party aimed at causing anxiety and disquiet among our members. As a party that believes in its principles, ideology, and the foundation on which it was founded, we demand respect from the UDA party.
Meanwhile, UDA, as the dominant party in government, plays the role of the more secure partner. Yet, even that position comes with anxiety, because in Kenyan politics, loyalty is rarely permanent. Just as quickly as alliances are formed, they can collapse, often dramatically and publicly. This evolving ODM-UDA dynamic perfectly captures the essence of Kenyan politics as a love affair, intense, strategic, and deeply transactional. The looming question is not whether tensions exist, but whether this political relationship is heading for reconciliation or an inevitable and explosive breakup that could redefine the country's political landscape. The Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, is now openly threatening to walk out of President William Ruto's so-called broad-based government. But here is the real question. Was this alliance ever meant to last, or was it just a temporary political survival pact? Let's be clear, this is not just political posturing. ODM, led by Dr. Oburu Oginga, is sending a calculated message. And I quote, "We can live and we are ready to." End of quote. This threat reveals three critical realities. First, ODM feels politically suffocated inside government. Second, it believes its support base is eroding by association with Ruto. And third, it is already repositioning for 2027. This is strategy, not just emotion as many perceive it. The so-called broad-based government was supposed to unify the country. Instead, it has exposed deeper cracks. ODM leaders claim they are being sidelined in key decision disputes over electoral zoning ahead of 2027. ODM leaders claim they are being sidelined in key decisions disputes over electoral zoning ahead of 2027. ODA operatives are accused of dominating government structures. In simple terms, ODM is in government but not in power, and power is what they need. And in politics, that's the worst position to be in. For President William Ruto, this is a delicate balancing act. If ODM leaves, he loses the image of a unifying national leader and Kenya as a whole. Politically, there is a tension which could rise again. Parliament could become more hostile, just like before. But if he gives ODM more space, he risks alienating his core UDA base and is more likely going to ignite internal rebellion within his UDA party. President William Ruto is caught between control and compromise. ODM's biggest fear is not leaving, it's staying. And why is this? Because the cost of living crisis is hurting ordinary Kenyans. The government is increasingly becoming unpopular in some regions, like the mountain region. ODM risks being seen as complicit, not corrective. If they remain too long, they may enter 2027 politically weakened. And ODM knows this. Everything happening now is about one thing: 2027 elections. Therefore, ODM has two options: stay in government and influence policy but risk losing identity, or exit now and rebuild as a strong opposition force. And history shows ODM thrives more in opposition than in government. So what happens next? Three possible scenarios. 1. Soft exit. ODM gradually distances itself without a dramatic breakup. 2. Explosive exit. Public fallout that reshapes Kenya's political landscape could be an option here. Managed stay, where negotiation can easily keep ODM inside, but tensions remain. One thing is certain: the trust between ODM and UDA is weakening. This is no longer about cooperation, it's about survival. ODM's biggest threat to leave is a warning shot, not just to Ruto but to the entire political system. Because if this alliance collapses, Kenya could return to a fully polarized political battlefield just in time for 2027 general election. And when that happens, there will be no middle ground.